welcome to yet another episode of the BFIT Podcast. This time we get to chill with the one and only Thapelo Phora. He's a South African sprinter and he took us all the way to the World Champs in 2019. He tells us about a very interesting story where 20 Rand nearly ended his life. You want to watch the episode? See you inside. Welcome to it, back here at the BFIT Podcast. My name is Thabiso Kambuli, and in the hot seat today we have the one and only Thapelo Phora. I love that. Your surname Phora, is there meaning to it?
Honestly speaking, I'll be lying if I said I know what's the meaning of my surname. I've never asked my parents before. So
But also mums, Sager.
yeah,
You're from mums.
I'm from mums.
Wow, man. When you look back, and sometimes going back to mums, of course, and you look at the young boys and girls that are out there, is there something that you can say to them?
One thing I can say about mums and also to the boys and girls in mums, I feel like young people from our generation, they feel like you can't be something just because you come from a place like mums. You know, it's a dangerous place. There's drugs everywhere, alcohol everywhere. I mean, you find kids at the age of 10, 11, smoking weed at the corner, you know. So it's a norm now for kids at that age to be chilling at the corners 365 days. So one thing I want to tell them is that doesn't mean that you have to come from the suburbs or from a rich background in order to be something in life.
Come on, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And I'm going to stick to basically your background and where you're from and a bit of history. There was a time that you had dreadlocks, my brother.
You know, my girlfriend keeps saying that I was going through something. That
What is the something that you were going through? What is it?
So about the dreadlock situation. So my aunt had dreadlocks from a young age. So on a later stage, she decided that she wants to cut them off. But then she was like, no, she doesn't want to throw them away.
Yes.
She's like, nah, Thapelo, since you have a bit of hair, let's just throw them on your head, you know, and see
And
how
then
you
you
look.
actually paired it. You paired it with your hair and your aunt's hair.
Yes.
That
You
is-
just
that is-
mix
that
them
is-
together. So and
I love that because the point that I'm getting to, you know, I've been watching a few documentaries and I know that when it comes to sports people and let's say sports heroes, there is a trend that they go through and then their followers also follow that trend.
yeah, no, that's it.
So if there is a character about you and if there is let me say, there's something that you would love to pass on to the generation coming that is looking up to you, besides the hair, what would that be?
Okay, besides the hair, I was about to say one thing I want to pass on to the generation is when I'm confident. Okay, about the dreadlocks. Okay, let's go back to the dreadlock part a bit. So whenever I feel like I'm in shape, I'm in good shape, I feel good, I feel like I'm going to run fast, I keep changing my hairstyles, you know. So when my aunt told me about the dreadlocks, I was like, yeah, man, no, I'm running fast, so let me go for a new look. So I got the dreads. Then somehow I got an injury. Then I was like, nah, let me remove the dreads. I went back to Cheese Corp. Then I started training. I went to my physios. I got sharp. I was 100%. Then I dyed my hair gold. So every time when I feel like now I'm confident and I feel like now I'm gonna reach to the point where I wanna reach, that's when I do a hairstyle. So just to show everyone that, nah, man, this guy looks good.
He's going
Feels
up,
good.
yeah. I love it. I love it. Oh, I absolutely love it.
So yeah, look for something that's gonna make you happy, man. Something that's gonna show the world that, nah, I've worked for this. I feel good. I feel confident. Just show it. It has to be visible.
I absolutely love that, man. I absolutely love that because it does have this confidence thing, right? Like it's like you say, when you look good, when you smell good, when you just feel good, and it just
something,
boosts up the confidence as well. which is amazing. I'm going to stick to also what you said about injuries. I know that there was a stage where you also had a lower back injury. How do you rehab from that? And also mentally, how does that affect you?
Oh, that was one of my worst injuries throughout my whole career. Um, it took me a whole year to recover from that injury, and it all started in the gym. I was gymming with some friend of mine. So one thing about him, he kept going PB every week, PB every week. So he's like, no, T, in order for you to run PBs, in order for you to run fast, you need to pick up those weights. Then I used to do the same thing. I picked up those weights without having a belt, without having proper equipment.
Yeah.
And somehow it killed my back. And yo, mentally it killed me because I thought this is the end of my career. I couldn't even jog. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even do a push-up. That's how bad it was. So it killed me mentally, physically as well, man. I started losing weight because I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't jog. I was actually losing weight, but then gaining a huge belly from eating, because sometimes when you're stressed, you just want to sit.
That's
and
very
eat.
true, man. Like you emotional eat sometimes.
Yeah. But then I got to my senses. I was like, nah, man. Let me use this injury as a weapon.
Come
Let
on.
me motivate myself and tell myself that I want to come back stronger. And that's exactly what I did.
That is amazing,
I saw
brother.
physios. I went to chiropractors. I saw everyone. Then I finally got help from one of the physios from Lanewood side. Then I was sharp. Got back to the track like I was never gone.
Wow. Thapelo Phora chilling with us on the BFIT Podcast, and he just actually mentioned something so beautiful now, and that is to literally to take your weakness or whatever you're challenged with and to use it as fuel, to literally propel and go on into greater heights, man, which is amazing. Allow me to take you back to 2019 World Champions. I believe that you made the semis.
Yes.
You made the semis on that
I
one.
made the semis.
Yes.
One of my most beautiful moments in my career.
Wow. Take us through that, my brother. Take us through the emotions. Take us through the feelings.
2019 was one of my best seasons. Till this day, I still talk about it. I still post pictures and videos from 2019.
Sure.
So, one thing I realized about athletes, whenever you go to your first world champs, they get knocked out in the heats. So it's not common that an athlete goes to world champs and makes the final or semi-final during their first world champs.
And congratulations at that, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So luckily for me, I went into the world champs full of confidence, because I knew exactly what I wanted to do. But the aim was to make the finals. Though unfortunately I didn't make the finals, but I'm happy for making the semi-finals, which
Yeah.
I missed the spot just a bit. So in my heats, I was like, yo, I was with Michael Norman. I was like, yes, see, this guy. So the problem with me was like, nah, I saw Michael Norman, I saw the guys from Jamaica. I was like, yes, see, these are the guys I used to run with.
Yes.
I mean, these are the guys I used to look up to. I used to watch their videos before competition. But then I was like, nah, man, I'm in the same lineup with those guys. So we in the same, let me put it this way. I was like, just because I'm in the same lineup with them, it means we're in the same level.
Come on.
So I shouldn't be afraid of them.
Yeah.
The gun went. I just sprinted like it's a final. Then boom, I was third. I made the semis. Semi-finals, I ran my heart out. I saw I didn't make the finals when I looked up the screen. But then honestly, I wasn't disappointed. I was very, very happy that I made it this far. Till this day, I can't stop thinking about it, man.
My guy, you know what? I look at you, and you're one of those guys that I don't know if you've seen this. There's been a lot of memes that have been made from this, right? Is that people will be on a podium, number 1, number 2, and number 3, and then you'd get the number 1 being number 1, but the number 3 being so happy that they are at that
Yes.
number 3. That the number 1 feels like, what am I doing wrong? What's going on? And
Exactly.
that's literally what the attitude that I see in you. You were like, even though I didn't make it to the final, the semis was amazing, and you take joy in that. And it translates to me in life, man. I think, we are so for a win. I was fortunate to interview Vusi Tembakwayo, And he actually said this in the interview, was like, and winning is toxic.
It is.
Winning is
Big
because
time.
you don't learn from winning, actually.
That's true.
You learn from when you lose, those mistakes that you're basically going to be fixing to make sure that you get to a win. At that point, what have you learned from your time in 2019, going to the World Champs, getting into the semis? What would you say was a lacquer lesson that you took away from that?
Oh, honestly, I've learned a lot. I realized when I went to World Champs running against those quick guys, I realized that most of the athletes, 400-meter athletes this side, we believe in endurance, training like a soldier, and which is something that not what we should have been doing all along. The Americans, all they do is speed work, speed work, speed work. So whenever I run against those guys, first 300 I'm with them, but the last 100 meters they move away. Then every time when I get back to Pretoria, people will be saying, yeah, you need more endurance in order for you to run that last 50 meters much faster. But when I look back to those guys that I was running with, they're always doing speed work. They're faster than me when it comes to speed work. So I realized that it's important to have a quicker 200 meters in order for you to run a quicker 400. So that's what I'm focusing on now. Like this whole year, I'm building up for next year World Champs. I feel like I have an unfinished business. I want to make the finals, and once I make the finals, then I feel like I can throw down the towel. I feel like I can retire because I feel like I'll achieve one thing I've always wanted, which is to make the World Champs finals.
Yes, Thapelo, you're such an inspiration to me, man. No, the way you just explained what you just learned there, it's absolutely amazing, because I can remember you also said in one of your races that you started slow. I'm not sure what the outcome of that race was, but I feel that there's some type of lesson in that as well, is to sometimes, you have to know where to do what as you run. Sometimes you have a slow start, sometimes you have a fast start, sometimes in the middle, I guess you have to make up for lost time. And that all translates into life as well, I believe, yeah?
Yeah, it does.
Which is
Big time.
amazing, man. Which is amazing. Thapelo Phora with us on the BFIT Podcast. We'll be back. I've got more questions for him, of course. And we're also still going to have a whole lot of fun. Get into the past as well, because this man's running. It started all the way back in 2014.
Yep.
So we're gonna chat a bit about that as well straight after the break. Back at it on the BFIT Podcast, and today we are chilling with the one and only Thapelo Phora. He is a sprinter, of course, and at first he did the 100 meters and the 200 meters, but then that went on to being 400 meters. It all started in 2014.
Yeah.
Man, it seems like, it's 10 years back.
10 years back.
I had to check my mathematics there. It's been 10 years. What would you say in this 10-year period from when you started changed? Because as I said, you started with 100 and 200 meters, and now you're doing the 400 meters. But what else has changed in this 10 years?
10 years, a lot has changed, eh? Okay, let's start off by explaining how I got to the 400.
For sure.
So 2014, I was introduced to a coach, Eni Kriel from Turkish.
Mm-hmm.
So I did 100 and 200 till 2015. Then Coach Eni left with some of his athletes. I went to Europe, so I was left behind with other athletes.
Okay.
So I was supposed to compete around the 100 and the 200. So one of my friends was like, "Bra, maybe we should try the 400 today, bra." I was like, maybe we should, because coach is not here. He's not going to see me.
Stealing a moment there, yes.
So when I told the other guys, I was like, "Gents, now I'm going to try the 400. They were like, "Yo, good luck. There's something called lactic." I don't know what lactic was by that time.
Okay. Now you have to school me as well, because I also don't know what lactic is.
Lactic acid is when you run, then you feel like something just went on your back. It's
Okay.
like you start moving back, you're in pain. It's like it's excruciating. You feel pain everywhere.
Okay.
So the guys gave me an example. They were like, "Do you know that chicken licking advert with that big orange monkey?" I won't forget those words. That's exactly what they
the
said to me.
monkeys, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what? They were like, yeah, you're gonna feel that monkey today. I was like, ah. So I went in the race. Boom! I sprinted that whole 400. I don't know how to run the 400. I don't know that you have to start fast, then back straight, focus on transitioning and relax your shoulders and stuff. I just went out hard. Boom. Last 100 meters, I promise you, I felt like that monkey was on me. It was excruciating. The pain was, I can't even explain it. But then to my surprise, when I crossed the finish line, the time was like 48. So everyone was clapping their hands. I was like, hey, what happened? Only to find out that 48, back in those days, it was a good time.
Yes.
So somehow it got to my coach. My coach was like, what? You ran a 400 without telling me? I was like, yo, I'm sorry, coach. He's like, no, but then you ran a good time. He's like, okay, next week you're going to run another 400. We're somehow going to prepare you for 400 because your 400 is better than your 1 and 2.
Oh, my goodness,
I was
yes.
like, what? I was like, nah, man, maybe this is my calling, man. So like I said, I started running the 400 in 2015. Then, to my surprise, 2016, I represented SA. I got a call up to go
How
represent.
amazing is that? Yeah.
Because the thing is, my times were dropping big time. Like, it didn't make sense. From that 48, I went to 47. Next thing, 46. Then I ran a 45.
Sure.
Then I was in the team for World Relays in Portland. It was my first time flying when I went to Portland.
Oh, nice.
Yes. I got there. I had a time of my life. I was like, no, I have a taste of this. I want more of this.
Come on.
I became more
that's
motivated.
Super.
Yeah, I became more motivated. And since then, I fell in love with the 400. Till this day. I think I'm going to continue running till I'm 40 something. So running the 400, it taught me to, like, it makes you strong, man, mentally and physically. Like, you can go through anything. If you can run the 400, I promise you can go through anything, man. And it taught me how to handle pain. And I feel like it made me who I am today. It made me a man, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, that event is painful. That event is painful. But then I got to a point where I enjoyed the pain.
That is amazing. Oh, man. Turning pain into your fuel as well there.
Yes,
Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that we still, as South Africa, have the world record when it comes to 400 meters, right? Does that add a lot of pressure onto your shoulders, knowing that?
Honestly, sometimes. Actually, back then it used to add a lot of pressure. But then I got to a point where I became more motivated, man, knowing that we have the world record this side,
sure.
and this is the guy I run with. You know, whenever I see him on the track, I become so motivated because I feel like he's from South Africa. I'm also from South Africa.
Yeah.
If he can do it, I
You
can also do it. You know,
for sure.
so whenever I see him, it pumps me. It gives me that hype. You know, thinking about the world record in SA, it hypes me up.
That is amazing. That is super amazing, man. And then, who did you basically see? Because we spoke now about you basically being with friends and telling their friends that, BFIT, I'm going to go try this 400. But who did you see that was running the 400 that basically made you literally fall in love with this 400-meter race?
Honestly, remember when I saw Oscar Pistorius?
Yes.
Also Wade van Riebeeck, our record holder.
Sure.
When I saw them running, man, I was like, see, they make it look so easy, man. The thing is, I don't know if it was easy or if it was a hard event to do, but then the way they were running it, it was so smooth. Even the way people were cheering for them after crossing the finish line. That's how I fell in love with the 400, man. Wade van Riebeeck's running style, he was sprinting, but then somehow he looks relaxed. You know, so it made me fall in love, man. The way it's like poetry, man. The way he runs that 400, it's like he's just striding his arms, his shoulders are relaxed. But then when he crosses the finish line, I see the time. Also, Oscar Pistorius.
Yes.
When I saw him run, when the gun went, that guy has a slow start. So the guys went, they left him. But then come second 200, yes, he caught up like the guys were just standing, man. You know. So seeing those kind of things, man, made me fall in love with the 400.
So, what I'm picking up is these are two, of course, different gentlemen. They run two different not two different races, but they run differently. Um, but yet there is a winning recipe that they do. Would you say that that translates to life as well? Is that, we do things differently, but we can all win?
Very true. Like people always say, every person has their own time. You need to be patient. Your time will come. Like for example, there's this athlete from Botswana. His name is Isaac Makwala. He's one of the best athletes in the world. That man used to be an athlete from a young age, but then he never got his breakthrough. He only got his breakthrough at the age of 32.
Yo, brother.
While other athletes get their breakthrough at the age of 18, 19. So Makwala started running fast at the age of 32. That's when he ran his 44 seconds, his 19 seconds. He signed a big contract with Nike. So yeah, it shows, man, that just stick to your lane. Focus on what you want. Your time will come. As long as you do it right, it will come. It might be earlier, it might be later. It will come.
How important, after saying all of that, how important is showing up to you? Like showing up when you're tired, showing up when your emotions are all over the place because we're human, showing up when you just had bad news come your way.
It's extremely important to keep showing up, man, because of this life. Life can be cruel. It doesn't wait for you. It doesn't tell you to stand up on your feet. It will knock you down if you just sit down and let it, So it's very important to just keep moving forward, man. Just never give up. If you know that you have a goal that you want to reach, just keep going. Just show up. No matter how bad it is, just keep showing up.
Amazing stuff. We're going to catch a bit of a short break. We are with Thapelo Phora in the BFIT Podcast studio. Gesels baie lekker saam met hom natuurlik, and daar's 'n paar ander goedjies wat ek ook vir hom wil vra, and of course him also being part of BFIT. Back here at the BFIT Podcast, my name is Thabiso Kambule, and with us in studio today we have Thapelo Phora, and of course he is a South African sprinter. 400 meter is his work, man, and in 2019 he went to the World Champs, and the love for this started all the way in 2014 in a very short space, actually. In about 10 years, he has been an absolute success, and you've seen him on your screens, you've seen him do the works, and now he's here chatting to us and just telling us a little bit more about him. Love it that we can actually get to sit with our athletes and talk to them and get you knowing them better and actually drawing some inspiration from them, because I believe that in our different crafts, there is different lessons that we learn, and it would be treasonous of us to not give those lessons to you. So this is exactly what we're doing here on the BFIT Podcast. I'm gonna start off where the ground and the foundation layout for you was, and that was actually with your parents, with your mom being an athlete and your dad being a soccer player.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is super, super amazing. So do you have a home that actually is really sport driven?
Yeah. I come from a background full of athletes. I heard my grandma and my granddad as well. They were also athletes as well.
My goodness.
My little brother's an athlete, like my mom and my dad. My aunt as well. She used to be an athlete, but then.
And the way you laugh there, I'm waiting for the story now. Okay,
yes.
But then
the way she used her speed, whenever I was naughty, yes, she used to chase me down the road.
Would she chase you with a
broom, with a stick? So
I
also,
come Pachana hitting you with that.
So yeah, what I can say is that my family played a huge role into the person I am today. Yeah, when I was naughty, my mom and my aunt, they used to chase me up and down the road. Even the whole street, they even knew that this is Thapelo screaming. I was naughty, but then I was afraid to get a hiding. Man. Whenever they chase me down the street, I'll be screaming for help. Help! So which is something I used to do every single day. So one thing my mom used to do, whenever she sends me to the shop, she'd spit on the ground and she'd tell me, "You better come back
Before it dries up.
Before it dries out." So I used to sprint, and I'd make sure I come back before it dries out.
That is super.
So if you go to Mamelodi and you ask who's Springbok, Kimang Springbok, they'll tell you, oh, Thapelo, because they used to call me Springbok because I used to be so active, man. So I was so active to a point that all of the families around my street, they prefer sending me to the shop than sending their own kids, because I used to sprint. You send me to the shop.
This is where it started. Now it all makes sense. It all makes sense.
This is where it started.
It started back home with you being a Springbok to the
Exactly,
tech
bro.
shop.
From a young age, I promise you, from grade 1. And because I used to run a lot at home, then I used to dominate at school. I promise you, I used to dominate from grade 1 till grade 7. I was unbeatable at school. So the kids I was running with at school, they didn't know that. At home, my mom spits on the ground. They always say, Tibla, yo, you fast. I say, yeah, it's
They didn't
natural,
know,
it's
right? The
natural.
groundwork was laid at
I
home.
don't know. I'm always training at home. The thing is, I was very naughty. So
man.
I always got a hiding, so I had to run for my life. So there's also one thing that happened that got me to athletics. There was a time my mom sent me to the shop to buy afkop. In our language, we call it afkop. So it's a sheep head.
Okay.
In English, I think they call it a smiley.
Yes, that's correct.
My mom was obsessed with that thing, man. Till this day, she loves it. So she sends me to the shop. She gives me a $20. Yeah, go buy a smiley for me. So everyone in Mums know that I'm the fastest kid in the area. So there was this short dude called Dumisan Jele. He comes with his friends. Yeah, they come, they approach me as if like they want to fight or something, only to find out they want to challenge.
Oh, you're running.
Yeah.
Running challenge. Okay.
They're like, hey, this guy's faster than you. I was like, never. That's how confident I was.
Yes.
Then Dumisan was like, okay, sharp, let's bet. But because I'm confident, I had
You
my
took
mom's
your
$20.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yo, big mistake. That guy, he whipped me. So he beat me. He took my $20. So I told him, let's go for a rematch. He's like, nah. Come back with another $20. Oh, thinking that I have to go back home
And explain.
and explain. Yo, I told my mom what happened. Yes, I got a hiding that day. So ever since that day, I got angry, man. I got motivated. I was like, who's this guy? So I started training for him. I even asked around, where can I go in order for me to become an athlete? Then I got advice from people. You should go to Turkeys. Then they're gonna maybe get you a coach. And I went to Turkeys because of that guy, Dumsan Douglas Jail. I even have a article about him stating that he's also one of the reason why I'm an athlete today.
Yes.
I went to Turkeys. I met Henny Krill. Started training. Then I realized that, nah, man, I'm actually much faster now. I went back to Mums. I was like, Dumisane, let's race.
Let's go. Yes.
Let's go. Yeah, and I beat him, eh? I redeemed myself.
Now the question is, did you get the 20 rand back?
Now that $20 was gone. That's long gone. I got a hiding for it. I was like, okay, it's fine. So that's where it started. That's how it started, man.
Wow, what a story, man. So I've read the book Choose Your Enemies Wisely. And I know that it has a hectic title, right? But it basically makes an example of what you just shared now, is that people that are like that should be fueling us. Let's say I get beaten in what I do. I love interviewing people and I love podcasts. There's a few people that I look up to, but then I choose my enemies wisely by saying that if they can be that good, I know I can be better.
Yes.
And then you start pushing for that, and then you start pushing for that until you get it.
Exactly. We need people like that.
Man,
in order for you
oh
to make
man.
it, man.
Goodness, what did you say? What is his name?
Dumisani Chair.
Dumisan, we thank you.
Yeah,
we thank
that
you.
man. Every time when I see him, I remind him about the story, man. And I keep telling him,
man.
"Brah, I am who I am today because of you."
Wow.
If you don't pitch up that day and
Challenge me.
challenge me, I
Yes.
wouldn't be where I am today, man.
That is absolutely amazing, man. I'm gonna chat about partners with you, like basically having a good training partner. How important is that to you?
Oh, having a training partner is extremely important, man, because I mean, like, you can track your times, you can track your progression. You know, training alone, because I used to train alone at times, and I'd feel like I'm fast. You know, training alone, you can't see if you fast or not, or if you're progressing or not. But then having a training partner, someone that you can chase, it makes you faster. For example, I was training with Ranti Dikhale. He's also one of the guys. He does 400. Now he transitioned to 800 meters. I realized whenever I train with this guy, man, and then we do time trials, I run faster. But whenever I train alone, when I do time trials, I run slower because I feel like, I was actually moving. But then only to find out I wasn't moving when I checked the stopwatch. But then when you have someone to train with, even when you're tired, you're not gonna let them beat you.
That's
You know, you're gonna have that mentality
That
that,
is
no,
true.
today I'm not gonna let Ranti beat me. It's like, yes, he's your training partner, but then also you see him as competition. But you know, so whenever I get to training, I'd make sure that, no, today I don't want Ranti to beat me. And he also comes with the same mentality. I don't want Tibla to beat me. So you see, that's one thing that I realized, that having a training partner is very important, because of, you need someone to push you, man. You can't do this alone. Yes, athletics is an individual sport, but then you need people in your circle. You need a training partner. You need a coach. Without that, I don't think you can make it far, man.
Love it, love it. I'm gonna stick to that, and this is basically our last bit. Is how has BFIT helped you, and how have you been involved in this beautiful movement of BFIT?
Yo, I don't want to lie. Throughout my athletics career, I haven't had a personal trainer or someone that helps me in the gym. So I used to do everything by myself. I used to go to the gym by myself, and because of that, there's a lot of things I used to miss out, like stretching, ice bath. So I used to just train, get in a few stretches, go back home. Then the next day I get injured. So that's how I used to get injured. I always got injured over and over again, not knowing that the only things I'm not doing right is like doing the stretches and stuff. Till I met Bernardo. He introduced me to the stretchings, ice bath. That's when I realized that, no, man, recovery is actually key. So since I met Bernardo through BFIT, I always do my stretching, and he makes sure
That you do it.
that I do the stretching, even though it's not nice, but
Yeah.
then it's not nice doing them. And after getting in your stretches, you feel like a baby, man. You feel brand new. Then the next day you can put in a extra session because of your body has recovered. So BFIT has helped me a lot, especially when it comes to my recovery. So that's why I feel like I'm very confident I can be better than who I was in 2019, because of now I've got a team behind me, which is something I never had in 2019. So I usually ask myself, if I could run that fast in 2019 without a team like BFIT, how am I gonna run? How am I gonna perform? Especially now when I have people like Bernardo in my circle.
Oh,
you know?
super.
So yeah, BFIT is playing a huge role, man. So it helped me a lot to minimize my injuries. So I'm very positive about next year. I'm very positive. I know I'm gonna make that world champ final. I feel it in my system.
Come
You know, one thing
on,
about
come
me,
on.
whenever I feel something, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
So with the help I'm getting from Bernardo Buffett, trust me.
You know it's gonna happen.
No, next year is gonna be a big one. Man.
Come on, come on. So you heard it here first, right? You heard it here first. We're gonna be replaying this after the win has happened, after
Yes.
he walks through Ko'oar Tambora with everything, you know. Man, Thapelo, thank you very much. This was really inspirational, even to me. For me, it's quite amazing how what we do in our profession translates into life. And you mentioned something so important just now, is that, you know, with your running, it has taught you so much about yourself and so much about life as well. It's not just what you do on the track, but it's almost like you can take what you do on the track and apply it to life.
Right,
Any
exactly.
difficulties that you basically encounter in life, or even any wins, how to basically, can I say, celebrate those wins, because you know how to celebrate them even on the track as well.
Yeah.
So, which is amazing. Any last words to the athlete out there that looks up to you, that is inspired by you? What would you love to say to them?
Guys, like I previously said, you don't have to come back. You don't have to come from a privileged background or a rich family in order for you to make it. I come from the dusty streets of Mamelodi, and I am who I am today because of I stayed disciplined. I knew exactly what I wanted. So if you have something you want to achieve in life, go for it. Don't give up. Don't let your background put you down. So those are my 2 cents for today. If I can do it, you can do it.
Come on. Absolutely love it. So we have Thapelo Phora in the BFIT Podcast studio. My name is Thabiso Kambule from my side. Ek sien julle weer volgende keer. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you like and you subscribe and you share and you comment. We love it when you do. Till next time. Cheers.